If you're watching this right now, stop for a second. Just breathe. Because I need you to understand something. This video didn't just randomly appear in your feed. You've been carrying something. A weight you haven't fully told anyone about. A question you've been asking in the silence of your own mind. Maybe in the middle of the night, when everything is quiet and the world is asleep, you've whispered something to God. You've said, "Give me a sign. Show me something. Tell me I'm not doing this for nothing." And here you are. This is that sign. I know that might sound too simple, too easy, but stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you has the power to completely shift the way you see your life right now. There's a verse in the Bible, Jeremiah 29 verse 11. And if you've heard it before, I want you to hear it differently today. Not as a bumper sticker, not as a poster on someone's wall, but as a direct message written specifically for the season you are walking through right now. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Now here's what most people miss about this verse. It wasn't written to someone sitting on top of the world. It wasn't written to someone who had everything figured out. It was written to people who were in exile, people who had been displaced, uprooted, stripped of the life they thought they were going to have, people who felt completely lost, people who looked around and thought, "This is not where I was supposed to be." Sound familiar? Maybe your exile doesn't look like ancient Babylon. Maybe it looks like a job that's draining the life out of you. Maybe it looks like a relationship that ended and left you questioning your worth. Maybe it looks like financial pressure so heavy that some mornings it's hard to get out of bed. Maybe it looks like loneliness, being surrounded by people, but feeling completely unseen. Maybe you had a plan, a clear plan, and then life happened, and that plan fell apart. And now you're standing in the rubble of what you thought your life was supposed to look like. And you've been asking God, why? Why this detour? Why this delay? Why this pain? Here's what God said to those people in exile. He didn't say your suffering isn't real. He didn't say pretend everything is fine. He looked at people who were broken and displaced and lost. And he said, "I know the plans I have for you." Not had, not past tense, present, active, right now. I know the plans I have for you. That means God isn't confused about where you are. He's not scratching his head wondering how you ended up here. He sees the whole road, the beginning, the middle, and the end. And he is still saying, "I have a plan." And it's good. But let me be honest with you about something, because I think this is where a lot of us get tripped up. We want the plan revealed. We want the roadmap. We want God to send us a 5-slide presentation with a timeline and bullet points explaining exactly where this is all going. And when that doesn't come, when the silence stretches on, we start to panic. We start to doubt. We start to wonder if maybe we've been forgotten. Think about the pressure that exists in America today. According to the American Psychological Association, stress levels in this country have been at crisis highs for years. Over 75% of adults report experiencing moderate to high levels of stress. People are burned out, overworked, anxious, and chronically exhausted. And a huge part of that anxiety comes from uncertainty, from not knowing what comes next. We live in a culture that tells you that if you don't have your 5-year plan locked in, something is wrong with you. If you're not on the right track by the right age, you're already behind. Social media shows you everyone else's highlight reel, and you compare their chapter 10 to your chapter 2, and you feel like a failure. But what if the uncertainty isn't a punishment? What if the waiting isn't a mistake? What if God is using the very thing that feels like a detour to actually build something in you that would have never developed if everything had gone exactly the way you planned? I want you to think about something. The verse says God has plans to prosper you. That word in the original Hebrew is shalom. And shalom doesn't just mean financial prosperity. It means wholeness, completeness, peace, a deep, settled sense that everything is going to be okay. God isn't just trying to get you to a better job. He's not just trying to fix your bank account. He's trying to bring you to a place of wholeness. And wholeness takes time to build. It takes pressure. It takes being refined in ways that aren't always comfortable. A diamond doesn't become a diamond in a day. It takes millions of years of pressure and heat. And what comes out the other side is something breathtaking. something rare, something that reflects light in ways that ordinary stone never could. You are not ordinary stone, but you are in the process of becoming something extraordinary. And I know that's hard to believe when you're in the middle of it. When you're lying awake at 2 a.m. with your heart racing. When you're sitting in a parking lot crying before walking into a job you hate. When you're scrolling through your phone trying to distract yourself from the emptiness that just keeps coming back. Can I speak to the anxiety for a second? Because I think one of the cruelest tricks that fear plays on us is that it makes us live in a future that hasn't happened yet. You've probably been there. You're not thinking about today. You're thinking about everything that could go wrong. You're running mental simulations of worst-case scenarios. You're catastrophizing, spiraling, planning for disasters that exist only in your mind. And in the middle of all that mental noise, you're completely missing the present moment, which is the only place God actually meets us. Jesus said in Matthew 6, verse 34, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself." Each day has enough trouble of its own. That's not a platitude. That's a survival strategy. God knew that human beings were going to wrestle with anxiety. He knew it because He designed us, and He specifically said, "Stay here. Stay in today, because I'm here today." The plans He has for you are unfolding right now. Not when you get the promotion. Not when the relationship is healed. Not when the bank account hits a certain number. Right now, in the mess, in the waiting, in the uncertainty, right here. And here's what I want you to sit with, because this might be the most important thing I say in this entire video. The fact that you're still here, that you haven't given up, that you're still asking, still seeking, still praying, that is not weakness. That is extraordinary faith. Faith isn't the absence of doubt. Faith is choosing to trust even when you can't see the road ahead. It's saying, "I don't understand this. It hurts. I'm scared." And then taking one more step anyway. That's what the people in Jeremiah were called to do. God told them, "Build houses, plant gardens, seek the peace of the city where I have sent you." In other words, stop waiting for your exile to end before you start living. Start living now. Start building now. Start trusting now. Because I am at work in this place you didn't choose. Maybe you didn't choose the situation you're in. Maybe it was chosen for you by loss, or betrayal, or illness, or failure. But you can choose what you do with it. You can choose to see this season not as a dead end, but as a preparation. You can choose to see the struggle not as evidence that God has forgotten you, but as evidence that He is forming you. You can choose to believe, even when it feels impossible, that the same God who spoke the universe into existence is still speaking over your life. And what He's saying is, "I know the plans I have for you." I've been there. That moment when everything you thought you knew about your life gets shattered. When the certainty disappears and you're left standing in the dust of your own broken expectations. When the prayer you've been praying doesn't seem to be getting answered and you start to wonder if anyone is actually listening. In those moments, something has to anchor you. And that anchor isn't a feeling. Feelings come and go. They're influenced by how much sleep you got, by what someone said to you, by the news cycle, by 100 different things. The anchor has to be something more solid than a feeling. It has to be a promise. And this is the promise. He knows. He has a plan. It's good. It leads somewhere. Not where you expected. Maybe not where you asked. But somewhere good. Now, here's how you actually apply this. Because I don't want this to just be words you heard on YouTube that made you feel good for 10 minutes and then evaporated. First, give yourself permission to stop performing certainty you don't have. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. Bring the real version of yourself, the anxious, confused, tired version, to God. He can handle it. He already knows anyway. Second, narrow your focus to today, not the next 5 years, not the next 5 months. Today. What is one thing you can do today that is aligned with who you are and who you're trying to become? Just one thing. Do that. Third, look for evidence of grace in your current season. Even in the hard seasons, maybe especially in the hard seasons, there are small signs that God hasn't left. A conversation that came at exactly the right time. A door that closed so a better one could open. A moment of peace in the middle of a storm. Train your eyes to notice those things. Write them down. They are breadcrumbs on the path. And fourth, decide, intentionally, to trust the process. Not blindly, not naively, but with the kind of trust that says, I can't see the whole picture, but I believe the one who can. Because here's the truth that this entire message has been building toward. The sign you've been praying for isn't always a burning bush. It's not always a dramatic moment where the heavens open and a voice speaks your name. Sometimes the sign is quieter than that. Sometimes the sign is a gentle nudge in your spirit. A video that found you on a random Tuesday. A sense, deep in your chest, that you are not alone. You are not alone. Whatever you've been carrying, the fear, the grief, the uncertainty, the shame, the exhaustion, you don't have to carry it the same way anymore. Because the God who knew you before you were born, who designed you with a specific purpose, who has not for one single second taken his eyes off you, that God is still writing your story. And the chapter you're in right now, it's not the last one. It might be the chapter that makes everything else make sense. So let me leave you with this. The next time the anxiety rises, the next time you feel lost, the next time you look at your life and can't see how any of this is going to work out, go back to this promise. Say it out loud if you have to. Say, He knows the plans He has for me. Plans for good and not for harm. Plans to give me a hope and a future. Say it until you feel it. Say it until it becomes more real than the fear. Because you didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You were looking for something. And maybe, just maybe, what you were looking for found you first.